Welcome to the Hive Community Spotlight, where we are a buzz with innovation. Welcome to the Hive Community Spotlight Podcast. My name is Evelyn Masaba. I'm the communications lead at Hive Colab. Today, we're going to just have a discussions that are different from what we've been uploading on our YouTube. I hope you have subscribed to our YouTube, by the way. We're going to have just an in-depth discussion about EdTech in Uganda. If you do not know, Hive Colab is currently implementing the MasterCard Foundation EdTech Fellowship 2026. We just closed the application, so don't rush to the website to apply yet. We'll call in you guys about the next cohort, which will be after this current cohort. So relax and enjoy the podcast. A recent article in the Daily Monitor about EdTech, it talked a lot about how the curriculum is failing students. And just to quote what it said, give me a second, it said that it highlighted how rural private schools in Uganda are struggling to implement the new competency-based curriculum. If you are not aware, in Uganda, we had a curriculum that was running for a long time that had to be reevaluated. Then they changed it. And then recently a different one was implemented. But after even being implemented, there have been a bit of gaps. And those gaps, today we want to discuss how we can see is technology helping, but what if technology could actually help bridge the gaps that we are experiencing? So in the article, I'm paraphrasing and also just trying to change. In the article, it was really highlighted how so many students are struggling with it. And today, we have Brian Tomusange, who is going to actually take us through the discussion, as I've just told you, because clearly there's a lot that needs to be learned, a lot that needs to be changed, but also how is technology helping bridge that gap? And for me, my question for you, Brian, is that how is technology actually helping with that? But also, even before we get to that technology part, what is different about this curriculum and the previous one? And why is it called competency-based?
Now, when it comes to the, thank you so much for the questions, for the wonderful questions. When it comes to the curriculum, the curriculum that schools used to have was based on theory.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when it comes to competence-based, we are looking at the competences of the what? Of the students, the learners. So initially, the curriculum was based on teach, evaluate, pass or fail.
Oh.
Okay. But right now, we're not, the curriculum is not focusing on that.
Chogamba,
It is focusing on,
went through all those systems.
Right now we are looking at the competences of the learners, the competences of, the students. Okay. So it is competence based. They are looking at the competence and then leave alone the initial curriculum that whereby the teacher was the source of knowledge.
Yeah.
But here, the teacher is just facilitating. The teacher is just adding to what the students know. You may find that you're taking these learners or the students through a certain topic that they know more about.
Oh, also then the students are also encouraged to do their own research.
Definitely. So it gives
really
them
cool.
room, it gives them space for them to, to go do their
Exercise
own
their
research, and it kind of like generates quite different types of knowledge. Okay, that was not there before.
Yeah.
So we are the current curriculum is focusing on the competences of the learners, where the learners do 80% of the work rather than the teacher giving them 80%.
Okay, then why is it failing?
Currently, you find when it comes to the curriculum failing, the problem is not one. There is a layer of problems. Okay, so you find that, for example, you find the infrastructure itself. Okay, due to the competence.
Wait, what do you mean by infrastructure in this case?
When it comes to the infrastructure, we're looking at the setup of the classroom. Okay, the resources that are there. Due to us focusing on the competence based, you find that there is need for example, for more research. Okay, whereby you go to different schools and you find they don't have the libraries for these students to do research.
Yeah, which is true.
So that brings in that gap.
Okay. So then that takes me back to that question that I asked you. So if the schools are struggling, especially
Yes.
the ones in the rural areas that do not have the libraries, they do not have computers, how then are we going to use the current edtech environment in Uganda to bridge that gap, to use that technology to bridge that gap for the rural students, the ones in underserved communities? How are we able to do that?
Now, when it comes to EdTech, it basically solves a lot of problems that are currently there. Okay, you find that let's say a certain startup has come up with an EdTech solution that goes to the last mile learner deep in the village. They have a platform that they can easily access to with their low bandwidth.
Okay.
Or there are platforms that startups come up with where at least a learner can download content and they use that content offline. So that bridges the gap of, let's say, a student going to a school where they don't have a library with the books that they really need.
But still, okay, for me now, still that part of, let's say, a little Evelyn deep in the village in Bunanga or in Manafa, the school has only one laptop. Not even a laptop. Those desktop thingies, the ones with the backs, you know those ones, right? Everybody knows those ones. Yes. So they have that one thing. And all the other students, how is it going to then help Evelyn, who is deep in the village in Bunangabo, to be able to be at the same level as Brian in Kampala, who's studying at a good school within Kampala City Parents, or maybe one of those other schools? How is that going to bridge that gap? So that's actually really what
now,
I'm trying
basically,
to bridge.
let's say you've told me that, okay, we are looking at a school that has one computer.
Yes.
Okay. You may find that this learner does not even have access to the computer. Okay.
Okay.
But a parent has a phone at home.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So when you look at EdTech, we are looking at startups coming up with solutions that can work on the laptop and can also work on a phone. If this learner has access to the parent's phone,
yeah,
they also have access to the content that is put out there.
Okay.
It's all about us creating awareness about the availability of these resources on the phone, okay, or online, and their accessibility.
Okay.
How accessible are they? So long as you have a phone, and that phone can have access to the internet, you can easily have access to the content, even if you're deep in the village. Okay? So that means there is that gap that has been bridged.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
The accessibility gap.
Yeah. Okay.
It's already breached. A student in Kampala receives the same content. Okay? Like the student in what? In Bunyangabo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that basically solves one of the problems.
In your experience, actually, because you know science and learning.
Yes.
There's a favorite word you like using. Pedagogy.
Pedagogy.
In what are some of like the current edtech solutions that are helping and bridging that gap for learners within Uganda? Are there some that we're already implementing in this country?
Yeah. There are quite a number of EdTech solutions that are there.
Yeah.
It's just that people out there don't know about these solutions. Okay? I can give a very good example. Yes, I've interacted so much with one of the EdTech solutions, like Hive, whereby they even have like they have a mobile app, leave alone the mobile app, okay? They have like a decoder, like StarTimes decoder, that you can easily buy.
A decoder? What does a decoder do?
The decoder, actually, there is, within the decoder, there is an installation of the learning material or learning content that you can easily...
Free to air on their TV.
Yes.
That is so cool.
Just buy the decoder, put it home,
that is
and
so
then you
cool.
have access to the learning material.
That is really cool.
So basically, that supports, okay, the education system.
Are these fully implemented in our system, or it's just that it's a private organization that's trying to do their own?
Currently, what we are doing and what we are supporting these startups with, we are trying to at least embed that national curriculum into their curriculum. We try to align their curriculums with the national curriculum such that it is easy and simple for the learner out there to read or to use the content that is available.
So then that means that then would have to work with locally found edtech, that homegrown, that understands the curriculum, that understands the system.
We have to work with, let me be specific. Okay, we have to work with homegrown startups or home developed solutions that are approved and are well aligned with the national curriculum. Because we wouldn't want to derail or be off track when it comes to delivering that content. Because remember, there is a national curriculum that is fully approved by the National Curriculum Development Center. So when it comes to content, the content that is developed by these startups, okay, it must be well aligned with the curriculum.
Okay. Is it sustainable?
It is very sustainable.
How so?
It is very, very sustainable. Right now, Hive Colab is working hand in hand with National Curriculum Development Center to at least peruse through the solutions, check the solutions, and see how this can be aligned with the national curriculum such that it is usable by all the learners in the country.
That's really good. So then when you talk about homegrown, back to that part of homegrown.
Yes, please.
I feel like maybe so many of these startups do not have structured funding that is sustainable for them in the long run, because as a Ugandan, you know how hard it is to run a business in this country.
Yeah, that's very true.
Like it's difficult. So imagine now doing a startup that's actually trying to support our education system, which is also, as we know, underfunded. So then how do we help these startups get this good funding that is sustainable enough for them to actually be able to make sure that these solutions they've created are accessible to the little Evelyn in the village, those ends, so that she's also getting leveled up to be able to access a good educational material as Brian, who is these ends in Kampala.
So the main point here, you've talked about these edutech startups having funding.
Yeah.
Right now, we there's an initiative that is running, that is the Mastercard Foundation EdTech Fellowship program that is being implemented. We are implementing, Hive Colab is implementing this program, this initiative. And trust me, yes, initially EdTech startups were not getting funding because there are very few funders that are in that line, or that are basically investing in that ecosystem. But currently, the Mastercard Mastercard Foundation EdTech Fellowship is here. It has come up with the initiative, and this initiative is taking these startups through an accelerator whereby they are equipped with financial knowledge, business knowledge, and sustainability knowledge. And leave alone that, they are being given financial support.
That's a lot. How much is
it's they are getting 70,000 if you happen to be one of the selected startups in the initiative, in the program. That is, it is a guarantee that you're getting 70,000 US dollars.
Okay.
That is quite a lot of money to sustain you for a long period of time, like 5 years at least. And leave alone that, we believe that there are other initiatives that are in the same line of funding, okay, that will benefit these edutech startups. We are looking at a growth stage startup that have really been in existence for at least 1 year. Okay? We are also looking at a startup that is in the edutech space. You have a platform out there, and then your platform is being used. You basically have active users. When it comes to active users, we're not looking at only people who are just logging into your platform.
Okay.
But we are looking at people
Who
we
are
are looking at
involved using the
learners.
tool.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We are looking at learners who are involved using the tool for a certain period of time.
Okay.
You
And
understand?
there's a sort of impact that has
Actually,
been
there is
seen,
some
experienced.
impact. Yes.
Yes.
There is some impact that comes to you, and at least you also recommend the platform that you use in terms of the content that you've
Okay.
got from the platform. Okay. So when it comes to startups being part of the program, you must have at least some traction. You must show that you've been making money, earning revenue out of your platform.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you must have a certain number of active users. We're not looking at 500. No, we are looking at you having over 4,000 active users. Okay, that means that you can easily attract new users to your platform. If we onboard you as one of our startups in the accelerator, we very well know that you will contribute and you will impact more than 8,000 learners. And in those in the post acceleration period, will be with you, walk with you along the journey.
How will you know that they're actually using the money they've received to actually do the work? How are you going to, one, verify that this company exists, it's working, and the solution works? And then after, how are you going to verify that Evelyn is actually using that money you gave her to create what you had told her to do?
Thank you so much for that question. And it's really, really a relevant question.
Yeah.
When you look at, you've asked, how will we verify that this money is being used or is being allocated to what it is meant for?
Yeah.
Now, as Hive Colab, we have systems that we've established. Okay, we have systems that we've come up with.
Yeah.
And we have recruited a business analysts for, to at least follow up with these startups.
Okay.
So when it comes to using the money the way it's supposed to be used,
yeah,
I believe we are on the right track and we have the right people to do that. Abafere tebasobola tulya, abafere tebasobola tuyiiya. Two, you've asked, how do we identify that this company really exists? Now, Hive Colab and the MasterCard Foundation, okay, are so keen when it comes to existence of a company. We put up a call for application. After putting out a call for application, we do some selection, okay, and the selection takes quite some long period.
Thorough process.
Selection is, it basically goes, it is in phases, okay? This fellowship is really, really beneficial when it comes to bridging some of the gaps that are there in the curriculum, okay? You find that, yes, for example, there is the entrepreneurship work is practical. In the curriculum, there is entrepreneurship practical work, something of like projects, coming up with projects. You find that the material that is being used by the teachers, they don't have the material actually.
In this current curriculum that we're implementing?
Yes.
So then how is it approved if they do not have the material?
No, the material.
What are they teaching?
What the teachers are doing, they are just coming up with their own material. That is not even enough.
How is that ethical?
So here...
How is that ethical?
It is there. You find that there is limited teaching material.
So then the teachers are left to their own devices.
Yes. When it comes to entrepreneurship, it is something that is practical. Okay? Remember, we have moved to competent-based, not theory.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do what you call hands-on. The student has to do 80% of the work.
Okay.
Not the teacher to be the source of knowledge. What does that mean?
Who's
And
supporting
how does the MasterCard Foundation EdTech Fellowship program bridge that gap? We've so far identified startups that have come up with training materials for both teachers and the learners.
Yeah.
So they can easily access this content. This content is already approved by NCDC.
So basically that's going to help the teachers that do not have the material to actually have the material.
Definitely.
Mujebad. Well done. Thank you so much.
Basically, this program is so beneficial to the education ecosystem in Uganda.
Okay. Thank you so much. I hope, guys, you've learned something from this discussion, because for me, one of the things I was worried about when I read that article was, then how is a competency-based curriculum failing? Like, if it's for students and it's the students doing the work, why is it failing if it's, not just theory? Because I remember when we were young, you used to actually memorize everything. You had to cram stuff and then do exams. But now that we're in a curriculum that helps students actually be more proactive in their education system, it makes it, I feel like it's a good thing. But also, for me, what even makes me more happier, that Ugandans are actually coming up with solutions for problems that are existing. And thank you so much, Brian. We appreciate you being here. We thank you so much for, educating us today about the things we did not know. And for those who do not know, the MasterCard Foundation EdTech Fellowship applications have been closed for this cohort. If you need more information about it, please go on the website of EdTech. That is edtech.hivecolab. That is hivecolab.org. And look out for more information, or follow the Hive Colab social media pages on X, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and then subscribe to our page for more of this podcast, because we'll bring you more people to talk about a lot of things, especially in the tech sector. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching the Hive Community Spotlight. Please subscribe, like, and share.